This is a video about this 94 Oldsmobile Cutlass Ciera paired with the 3.1 liter V6 engine. This is a thermostat replacement. So if you don't need your thermostat replaced, don't click on this video because it's probably not for you. But you got a 94 Oldsmobile Cutlass Ciera S Sedan, 4-door. There's the badge. That's sad. But actually your engine will look like this. A little bit different because you'll have shit connected. First off, you want to go under your throttle body here if it looks the exact same as this. If it don't, your thermostat should still be right about here. And it's a bitch to disconnect. You're going to have to take off the exhaust. I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of a step-by-step process because I started doing this beforehand and it's kind of raining and I want to get this done today before it gets dark because it's kind of cold. I'm drinking, so I'm not cold, but you know. So you'd go under here and you'd want to, this hose will be under here and you'll want to just pull on it and disconnect it and set it up here kind of out your way. It connects down in here and there's a little hole on the side of the engine right there. You should be able to somewhat see where that's connected, yeah. And it goes in there. I'll put it back in, but that's where it goes in case you if you fuck up and this comes out. It goes back almost right under this. Let's see. Try and get you a good view here. Turn on my phone's flashlight at the same time. Right up in there. You see where... There we go. Yeah, you see where that is back there. That little lip right there, right in the middle of the screen, right behind them wires, right behind these wires. Move them. You see that lip right there that's on the engine side, on this side? That's where this connects into. Just so you know. But you want to disconnect that first. And next, you want to obviously take off your airbox. I've gotten pretty far with this, so this will be kind of step by step, just not precisely, because you know it's kind of common sense. This is a 94. It's kind of simple, even though I'm not nowhere near that old. Anyways, yeah, your little engine cover, you'll have to, or your fucking heat shield, you'll have to disconnect it using, what are these? Probably, I don't know, anywhere from 11 to 13 millimeter, maybe 14 for this. And once you have this loosened up, you won't be able to move it quite yet. What you'll have to do is you have to disconnect this coolant hose from there. And yes, it'll start going everywhere. Yes, coolant will start coming out of here. Eventually it'll stop. And you'll want to lift this up like this. And if it's raining, you want to cover it because you don't want water in your shit. But once you have this kind of out your way a little bit, there'll be this big ass black thing here. Looks kind of like this. Sits like right up in here. Kind of sets in like that a little bit. Usually these things are in there. There's a spring right here. It's usually connected right there. You'll want to take that off too. But the way you do these is here. I'll show you. I'll show you so you're not sitting here like, what the fuck, bruh? Okay. Because I moved my shit out the way, kinda. These are normally sitting like this, and it's normally sitting in them two spots, right there and right there. So you would take a punch tool, a screwdriver, or if you have that coolant hose tool to remove the coolant hose, because having these tools to remove your coolant hose is very, very handy. It makes it so much easier. You go up in there, you push it in, make sure you're facing towards the engine, not towards the coolant hose, or you're probably going to rip it or stab it, something you don't want to do. but then you work your way around it, and then you don't have to quite use it. I mean, you use it, pull it off most of the way, then take it off. Then you can use your hand. Rest of the way, it'll come off. Set that to the side. That'll start dripping a lot of coolant. Well, it'll start flying out of there, kind of. But after you do all that fun stuff and do all that coolant hose shit, what you want to do is, you see this silver hose here, you'll want to kind of lift up on it. You'll have to put a little bit of pressure into it, like, and get it out your way and kind of lift it a little bit, because it'll be down a little bit more than that naturally, unless somebody already did it and left it lifted, which I'm going to do, because there's no point in it being any way else, because, well, it's not like it's impeding anything, it's not hurting nothing, who cares? Once you get all of that shit done, once you get like this line out the way that's there, once you get this coolant hose off, once you do all that fun shit, you'll be left with this heat shield and whatnot, and you'll want to be wanting to get this out, and you'll wonder, how the fuck do I get this out? Well, let me show you. You lift up on it, you kind of, I'm doing this with one hand too, you wiggle like this, and that'll kind of lift up. On this side, you'll wiggle like this, and you'll keep wiggling it until it kind of comes out like that. Oh, I pushed on this and it moved it like that, and you want to grab this, kind of just wiggle its way out of there, and that's how that came out. Yes, it looks kind of funny. When I was first looking at this, I was like, oh my fucking god, too, but it's not as terrible as what you would think. It's annoying, but it's not too terrible. Anyways, now you're left with this. You'll want to probably take some, I wouldn't use fluid, I would use fluid film, but I would much rather use WD-40. Fluid film's good for like lubricating your door hinges, lubricating your locks. Like if your lock's not working that great, like my trunk wasn't, now it's working great. Or if anything's squeaky, that has to do with something like that, you can lubricate it with fluid film. That's the best. That's WD-40 on crack. Now you use WD-40 for breaking shit loose. You can use that too. It's just more expensive probably. So me personally, I wouldn't use it for that, because I have it. So like, if we have a sliding glass door, it's very hard to open. Use that, lubricate the bottom a little bit. It opens like nothing, and it's been about a month, and it's still working beautifully. So, but once you remove that cover and whatnot, you'll be left looking like this a little bit. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to get your, for me, this is a 13 millimeter job. And for them, you'll want to have an extension. For these, you could get by with this. But for them, you'll want to combine a bunch of little ones, or get this one big metal, socket extender piece or whatever. These are 1/2 inch sockets, by the way. You can use smallers. Like, see, I have this adapter here, so I can use a big wrench on a small one. But, fuck, it's raining more, bro. But anyways, you will go ahead. You'll want to put some shit on there. I put fluid film on there because I don't have anything else. And they're coming loose. I just don't want them to break, like, if it's a possibility. But you'll want to, you know what I mean, crack her loose. And if you start to have a lot of issue, or it cracks loose a little bit, not really, you'll want to tighten it back up a little bit. Just work that penetrating oil up in there, whatever you use. If you don't use anything, then you'll still want to do this either way. Especially if you don't use anything. Like, if you think it's going to break, use it. It's better for you to be safe than sorry with a broken fucking bolt. But you just crack her loose. With this one, you can actually shove it up under here and still get it to latch on that bolt right there. So even though it kind of looks a little funny, I'm still getting it done. This would be like a $400, $500 job at like a dealership, shop, whatever. This was about $15, $20 for me. It can be like $10 for you. But I wanted a good thermostat that was a little bit better and had a little bit extra features. So I paid like $5 or $8 extra. So, but naturally they're about $10, maybe even cheaper. Depends on where you get them. If you get them from, like, let's say partsgeek.com, an online store, you get it like a little bit cheaper, but depends on the brand. Anyways, you break these loose. Then whenever you get to that part, you'll want to just crack that loose and then take that off. I'll end up resuming the video when that part comes up. But yeah, give me a minute and I'll be right back.